will discuss about role of thyroid hormones. In short, in previous lecture we have seen about the secretions of the thyroid gland, where inside the follicle the colloidal matter which is present, it contains the hormones which are iodized products. The amino acids, they combine with iodine. So either tetraiodothyroxine, that is we call it as T3 thyroxine, or triiodothyroxine. Triiodothyroxine or tetraiodothyroxines, they are the common secretions. It is having 3 iodines and 4 iodines. Triiodo and tetraiodothyroxines are secreted over there. That is the colloidal matter which contains the amino acids. It combines with iodine to form these products. So thyroxines are nothing but the iodized products of amino acids. So they are playing very important role in the metabolism. So the first role, that is overall rate of metabolism, what we call it as body metabolic rate, that is increased due to the thyroxines. BMR, what we call it as BMR, that is increased due to the thyroxines. Second, obviously when metabolic rate is increased, heat production in the body is also increased. That is associated with increased body temperatures. Then third effect, which is again depending on the same, that is more number of mitochondria which are associated with ATP generation. That is energy is liberated in more amount by producing more mitochondria. Fourth effect is that it shows direct relation with growth and development of the body. Bodily growth and development, they depend on these hormones. It increases breathing rate also and heartbeats. So all these effects, they are associated with each other. They are observed due to the thyroxine hormones. Another hormone, that is calcitonin, which is secretion of parafollicular cells. This first one, it is secretion of follicular cells, and it is secretion of parafollicular cells, and that is in calcium metabolism. That is, it reduces the calcium level in the blood, and that calcium is used for the bone development. That it stimulates the osteocytes, that is the bone cells, to deposit that calcium into the bones. Means blood level calcium is reduced, and that is used for the formation of the bone. For that purpose, the cells of the bones, that is the osteocytes, they are stimulated by this hormone. We'll see the next part, that is when these hormones, they are secreted in more amount or less amount. That is, what happens if these glands are stimulated leading to hypersecretion, or if secretion is low, that is hyposecretion. Obviously some abnormal conditions are observed in the body instead of normal body metabolism and growth and development. We observe some abnormalities. So we'll discuss followed by this. We'll see what happens when the secretions of thyroid are abnormal. That is either over secretion is there, that is called as hyperthyroidism, or low secretions are there, we call it as hypothyroidism. So we'll see one by one. First, that is hyperthyroidism or over secretion of the gland. So naturally, if secretions are more, then the body metabolic rate is increased in large amount, leading to loss in the body weight. Particularly, the protein metabolism is increased, which leads to loss in the body weight. Second thing, the result of this increased metabolic rate, it is sweating of the palms and soles. तळ हात आणि पाय, they show sweating. Third is that such persons, such individuals, they show restlessness, they are restless, even they show nervousness, and many times it is associated with mental excitement. They are always mentally excited. One more thing is that it shows over temperature of the body, even rise in the blood pressure, and it is associated with muscular weakness. The person is facing muscular weakness in this, because whatever energy is there, that is all lost due to over metabolism. Many times it leads to the disorder which is called as X-ophthalmosis. We call it as X-ophthalmosis, or another name for that is Graves' disease. We know the meaning of ophthalmo, that is eyes. The eyes, they are coming out, they are protruding out. We call it as X-ophthalmosis. So in these persons, because of overactivity of thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroids, they are stimulated by the hormone, that is thyroid stimulating hormone, that is TSH, and due to that these persons, they show some symptoms like very loss in the body weight, tremendous loss we observe in the body weight. So such persons, they become thin, and these persons, as compared to the body, the eyes, they look very large, as if they are protruding out. Just they are compared with the dead body, eyes of the dead body, how they look. That is called as Graves' disease. In Marathi, it is called as Smashan Rog. In local language, the local people, they call it as Masnya Rog. So that is nothing but the X-ophthalmic goiter, where the person is facing weight loss, high temperatures of the body, total muscular weakness, and the eyes, they are protruding out. So the name given to this is Graves' disease. That is because of the hyperthyroidism, due to high activity of thyroid stimulating hormone. So we will see some more disorders followed by this. The hyperthyroidism we have discussed, it is over secretion. Next, abnormal secretion is hypothyroidism, that is less than required amounts, less than normal amounts of secretions, that is hypothyroidism, where we observe some changes during childhood in such persons, as well as in adulthood they lead to some abnormal changes. Accordingly, they have been given different names. First case, that is called as cretinism, that is observed in the children with abnormal secretions, that is hypothyroidism, where such children, they show stunted growth. Growth is reduced, stunted growth. Even the body postures, they are distorted in such children. These children, they are not active, they are sluggish. These children, they are sluggish one. And they show enlargement of tongue. Tongue is protruding out. What you call them as the persons which are having low mental development. Mentally retarded child, that is having decreased mental development due to low secretion of the thyroid. These children, they show large or pot belly symptom. Even it leads to deafness and dumbness in these children. They cannot speak or even they cannot hear. That is because of the hypothyroidism in children. We call it as cretinism. It is very important part as far as MCQs are concerned in the NEET or in CET, as well as we expect here a note in the board examination, that is cretinism. We will continue with the symptoms in adult followed by this. In continuation with hypothyroidism, the abnormal condition which we observe due to less secretion in case of adults, we call it as myxoedema. In children, we call it as cretinism, and here we are calling it as myxoedema if the hypothyroidism continues in the adulthood. So what are the symptoms we observe associated with this? So these persons, obviously they are having low body metabolic rate. Reduced metabolism is observed. Even such persons, they are showing loss of appetite. That is, whatever food is taken, that is not metabolized. Slow metabolism is going on. That is why they show loss of appetite, and even it is associated with increased body weight. Because of low metabolic rate, the nutrients are not utilized. So it results in increased body weight in such persons. They are abnormally gaining the weight, and these persons, they feel cold and chilled. Exactly opposite to hyperthyroidism, where we have observed more temperatures. Here, exactly opposite condition. These persons, they show reduced temperatures. They feel cold and chilled. The skin, it becomes rough, dry due to these conditions, as well as the hairs, they become brittle, and more obviously hair fall is observed. The hairs, they start falling after becoming brittle. If the person is woman, they show abnormal menstruations between the periods, and such persons, they show swollen face that is swelling is observed, as well as they show mental dullness in them. Even they show memory loss. They are not remembering the things. That is, the mental condition is very dull due to hypothyroidism. And such persons, they are sexually impotent. So all these are the symptoms which we observe in the person facing myxoedema. So here clear-cut differentiation should be there while writing the questions. First, be careful that what is asked in the question. If criticism is asked, you have to write down about the childhood condition of hypothyroidism. And if the myxedema is asked, then you have to concentrate on the symptoms in adults. So don't get confused over these stages of hypothyroidism. So one more thing is there, that is because of nutritional condition the thyroidism is observed. So we'll discuss followed by this.